It's not that I'm not aware. I am aware. It's just not in my awareness to go up to a person and say, "Do you know you're a Moor?" You know, I just never think to do that. But if I were engaged in a conversation, perhaps it will come up. You know, it also depends on the person that I'm talking to. If that person, I can feel, you can tell if someone is receptive to what you're saying, right? They're engaged and they're interested. Then you can go into that subject because it is about them anyway. You know, you're giving them a piece of information that is very valuable for them to know, you know? So I'll be more inclined to say it. But to just come out and say, "You're a Moor, man," you know, I think I need to warm up a little bit. The Ita, the Africans, the first people that came to the Philippines were very peace-loving people. And there were people coming through to the south of the Philippines because they found themselves endangered where they're coming from, Indonesians and Malays, okay? They were coming through, and the Ita, the African people in my country at the time, they didn't turn away anyone. And instead, what the leader of that tribe then, you know, we will allow you to be here. Maybe perhaps we can exchange. What kind of resources do you have? We have this kind of resource. We can help each other out. We can be kins. And so the ritual is that you draw blood, okay? The two leaders will draw blood. You will actually get a knife and make a swipe on your palm. And we call this in the Philippines sandugo. Okay, sandugo. Dugo is blood. San is one. So it was shortened. It was actually supposed to be two words. Isang dugo. Isang is the word which means one, and then dugo is the blood. So that's a ritual between two leaders of the tribes to say, we are now one blood. I see you as my kin. If you ever need help in the future, if you're in trouble, you can come to us and we will help you out. And that has been the rule of law. You can really tell the wisdom of the first people of the Philippines because they didn't succumb to the invading people, foreigners. Because here's what happened. When Magellan came in 1571, he was actually killed by one of the datus, by one of the chieftains in the Philippines, whose name is Lapu-Lapu. Okay? So this word went back to the Queen of Spain. I believe at the time it was Queen Isabel. She said, really? So what she ended up doing is she sent some more armadas back to the Philippines. So there's more bigger ships. They underestimated the fight because the Malaysians, the Malays, the Indonesians, the Itas were all fighting together to oppose this invading foreigner, right? And they're trying to bring Christianity into the land, with their crosses and stuff like that. But mind you, from best that I know, during this period, the Philippines were basically practicing Islam. Okay? There's no other. Perhaps I need to dive in more. What was it before? But for what I can go back to, this is what I know. Islam is what's being practiced at that time. Okay? It kind of makes sense, I think. So the second phase of her sending some more big ships to the Philippines, there's obviously more soldiers and more rifles, more weaponry, right? And that part of the Philippines, the Mindanao part, which is the southern part of the Philippines, it was sieged. Spaniards took it over. Okay? So here's what happened. They said, you either convert to Christianity. You were given those choices like you were saying earlier. You either convert, leave, or be killed. So some of the Indonesians and Malaysians stayed. Like, you're asking, what happened to the Itas? right? Do you know what they did? Because they're the first people in this country. They receded back to the forest because they know that there's no way they can survive in the forest. But the forest, they know that's their home. And to this day, you can find my people still living in the forest peacefully. They don't want to go into the city. That's not how they live their lives. Okay. They want food. They're very good at swimming. You might think. Yes. The water. They stay in the forest and they go to the sea for food. They hunt their own food. They don't want to rely to the city. Okay. So have you been to the Library of Congress? We need to go because we will find a lot of answers there. They're keeping books there that are somewhat classified and secret. Okay. So it just takes knowing what to look for, but they have thousands and thousands of books in many different divisions. Okay. So I was able to spend about 2 hours there and I was trying to learn more about the Philippines and how did my people look like prior to the coming of Spain. And I saw beautiful people, guys. I'm talking about brown skin, like really dark brown skin, long hair, the women are beautiful. Men are looking great. I mean, different shapes and forms because at this point, there's some intermingling going on with the Indonesians, the Itas, and the Malaysians. This is the people that were living, the different tribes that were living then at the time, and it shows what they were eating, what kind of tools that they're using to hunt, to get food and gather food and stuff like that. So it's a pretty fascinating experience when I was there.
Es muy importante que llegue el dinero a tiempo cuando un familiar tiene una cita médica.
What's your credit card debt balance? If it's $10,000 or more, here are 3 easy solutions you can start implementing today.
Well, the name alone, More. And if you look at my last name, Moreno, More, it's a derivative of the name Moors. So perhaps, and then actually the definition of the name Moreno is someone who is, whose complexion is dark, Moreno and Morena. So there is that connection there. Why did my grandfather has that last name to begin with? And I know my grandpa, looking at him, he doesn't look dark at all. Okay. He looks like he's mestizo, but if I were to look back, and unfortunately, I don't have a lot of the old pictures. You can actually see that there are people around that time that are same complexion as you. And in my thinking, in my head, I still carry those genes. No matter how far removed I am. You, me, we still have the same genes that our ancestors have. We carry it with us. This is the study of epigenetics and genetics alone. I'm not going to go into so much detail because that's going to be another full day. But all I'm saying is that we carry those same genes. So is there a Moorish connection? Yes, absolutely. No doubt about it. I mean, all you got to do is look at some Filipinos, go back home, go to the Philippines, and you will see them. You will see the features alone are there. And our architectural designs. You can see it in the landscaping. And some of the names of the places, Moro, Intramuros, the southern part of the Philippines have a lot of names that are derivative from the name Moors, So these are signs and these are symbols that will give you a little glimpse of history where we came from. It's a color. And it's a very Eurocentric term. And I think the whole purpose of being enlightened and continuing to evolve as a nation and as a people is to get away from all of the experiences that's been conditioned to every, if I'm just going to say it correctly, Asiatic people, right? Because that's what we really are. We all came from that continent. So Asiatic could mean anybody that's got a phenotype like yours or a phenotype like mine, but it is all Asiatic people. We all come from the same source. Wherever the Moorish Empire went, and seeing that they have been there since the earlier times, right? The earlier periods before new generations are coming in, new migrations coming. I'm just talking about my country, My sensible thinking is telling me, and not just that, and my intuition tells me there is a connection to the Moors, right? So to say I'm black, to say you're black, what does that mean? It literally, actually, if you think about it, now that I'm thinking about it, it kind of excludes the rest of the other people that were also Moorish descent. Right? And what does it mean to say black anyway? What is the definition of black? And then now we gotta contrast that. What is the definition of being a Moor means? What is a Moor? Because Moor does not designate color, right? Black is very restricting. And furthermore, who is truly black? Black is if you look at it, right? No one is just really black. Look, this black. This is black. I mean, sure, we can find some different hues of complexion, but no one is just truly completely black. In my thinking, not even the Ita in my country. No. So I think we need to move away from those terms. I don't like yellow. Yellow is a word. Again, Eurocentric thinking, they've been calling Chinese yellows, Filipinos, brown, right? So this is what I'm talking about. I think we need to move away from this conditioned thinking. This is part of the Eurocentric thinking. It didn't mean anything to us. It doesn't mean anything at all to say, hey, yo, brown? We call ourselves really Pinoy Pinay, or simply put, Filipino or Filipina. Then you are a person. You're not just a color, like a category of Crayolas. We need to start dealing with each other like human beings. I'm talking to you, you're a person.